Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Alpha Platform. Do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel. Last night, my husband and I were watching the Deliverance on Netflix, and it really got my head spinning and turning about demonic possession. Because what during my time in seminary school, we talked extensively about demonic possession. And one of the things we learned was what is featured in these Hollywood movies is not true or accurate in terms of what happens when people are possessed. Possession, it's much more simplistic than what you see on TV. Like TV is designed to be entertaining and scary, and fearful. But in reality, possession is very simple. And that brings me to my next topic. A lot of us, I'm just gonna flat out say, and we don't like to hear this, but a lot of people are possessed and they don't know about it. They don't know what it really looks like. They don't know that they have these demons inside of them. But essentially, demonic possession in the real world comes in the form of unhealed emotional trauma. It comes in the form of being controlled by your emotional trauma. It comes in the form of depression, anxiety, um, uncontrollable sadness, wanting to self-delete. That is, any type of self-harm activity is possession. One of the things in the movie that really stuck out to me, this is how you know I'm not lying. When those people in the house, began to become under the influence of the spirit, they begin to harm themselves. They begin to, physically and emotionally harm themselves. You have a mom that was constantly drinking, constantly having anger issues, constantly in trouble with the authorities because she didn't know how to properly take care of her kids, constantly, just having disagreements with her mom because she was coping with unhealed trauma. She was dealing with unhealed trauma. In the kids' case, you had them physically harming themselves because they didn't know, they were under the influence of this thing. So in the real world, you wouldn't have children in the influence under a spirit. What you would have is children undergoing self-destructive behavior because they're living in an environment that is unhealthy. So they become gang bangers. They become thugs. They don't value life. They don't have morality. They're disrespectful to authority. They don't value their own lives. That is possession, because only possession will have an individual beat their own children, have an individual, abuse their own children. Only possession would have a child, not value life and pick up a stick and do you know what? Like, that is possession. That is possession. And that brings me to my next point. A lot of us gay dudes, a lot of us in the gay community do have issues with this stuff, with possession, because it's like, and especially specifically the Black community, we are all living with the unhealed trauma of our ancestors. Like, man, slavery did a number on us. So when you combine the atrocities of slavery with being LGBTQ plus, you have a recipe for disaster. I was reading a book and from my therapist, it really helped to heal me. But essentially, it's like some of us, I'll give you guys an example. Let me give you guys an example. In the book, there was a story of a woman who just wanted to throw herself in fire for no reason. Like, out of the blue, she just had this desire to self-delete by throwing herself into fire. And she could not escape this desire or understand where she got it from. Well, fast forward a few months of working with a therapist, the therapist told her, hey, look, go to your mother and ask for your family's story. She did it. And coming to find out, she was the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor. And her grandmother had this fear of being thrown into the fire while she was in concentration camps. And that fear manifested itself in her granddaughter generations down the line. And that is what happens to us as human beings. We are carrying the thoughts, the stories, the experiences of people that came before us, their untold stories, their unhealed traumas. We are all carrying that. And it's not until you become free of that stuff and begin to delineate what are my thoughts and my experiences versus what are the thoughts and experiences of my parents, my grandparents, and those that came before me, that you are able to set yourself free. Addiction is running rampant in the gay community. People are just, so many of us are on drugs and are self-indulging in alcohol, can't escape from that stuff. All those things are like leading us open to possession. There's a reason why they call it spirits, man. I'm not trying to get esoterical, but it's like if people knew that when you are under the influence and you experience a blackout experience, that is you being possessed. You are literally under a trance doing stuff you don't know you're doing stuff that the real you would never do, So it's just, I wanted to come on my channel and talk about this because I truly believe that 80% of people in this world will never be free from possession. 80%. We still have, for example, I have people in my family who are in their 50s still dating the same type of guys, still dating losers, still dating guys that cheat on them, guys that don't want them. And it's simply because, and these people can be Christians. These people are so-called die-hard Christians, and they don't know that they're possessed. They don't know it. But their behavior and their actions tell me that something is going on inside them that they have not resolved. Therefore, they are possessed. Because once again, only possession would get you to harm yourself. So yeah, there are people in my family who are still dating the same type of dudes, wondering why they're single, chronically single, hyper independent, and they don't know they're carrying the trauma from my grandmother. Like I've had numerous talks with my grandmother about her life experiences and what she went through. And that's where it came from. My grandfather was abusive. So she was forced to get away from him and raise 4 or 5 children on her own, leading to a life of poverty, leading to a life of hyper independence because she couldn't depend on anyone. She was living in the city far away from Mountain Bayou, Mississippi, which is where my family is from, like halfway across the country. So she had to become hyper independent. And here we are 2 generations later, and we're still living in that hyper independent mindset, excuse me. When it comes to gay people, it's like we're still doing things to prevent us from feeling ashamed. And people don't know that the final step of becoming free as a gay man is to stop doing things to negate shame away from you. So I know if I hang out with somebody and they're still trying to like, oh, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z because I'm ashamed. I don't want to, if it's a love interest, I don't want to hold your hand in public because I'm ashamed. I don't want to kiss you in public because I'm ashamed. Despite the fact that we're in a new culture, we have laws protecting us as LGBTQ people, you still have the shame, which means you are possessed. Unhealed trauma. A part of me used to always wonder, man, why don't people care about their lives? Why are they just having unprotected sex and they don't care if they get HIV? Some people want to get it. They don't care about their lives. They don't care about going to the doctor and getting checkups and blah, blah, blah. You guys know why now. There's no need to argue and convince these people. They need to heal their own traumas. They need to figure out why they don't love themselves, because it's not normal to not love yourself. It's not normal to do things that harm yourself, to be a drug addict, to be an alcoholic. That stuff is not normal. Some people can't go a single day without smoking weed. Not normal. Never knowing that stuff is messing up your brain, rewiring your brain. Because the battle, the fight in this world is in your mind. It's with your mind. Yeah, man, I just want to come on and talk about that very quickly because we are like people, we are struggling in our mind. And at the end of the movie, just want to go back to the movie. She starts off angry, but at the end of the movie, she's kind. She's a kind woman. She's a loving woman towards her children. She wants to reunite with her husband, X, Y, and Z, because she now has, healed her trauma, and she's no longer possessed. Excuse me. When she was fighting that demon, what did the demon do? It took the shape of her. It assumed the shape of her and used her own trauma against her. Used the fact that she was molested against her to try to break her down. Because you are your own worst enemy. And if I can get you to not love yourself and convince you that you're not worth anything, man, you'll do anything to just self-destruct, self-delete. And that's exactly what she was doing. I'm kind of thankful for my time at seminary school. because it did teach me a lot about life. Even though I'm not a Christian, I don't believe in reading the Bible, taking it word for word. I don't believe in that. I believe that we need to read it through the lens of the culture that it was written in and understand that it was influenced by the culture that it was written in as well, just like we are influenced at the culture we are in today as well. But I want my people that subscribe to my channel, I want you guys to heal. That's what my channel is about. Healing and promoting long-term healthy relationships, long-term monogamous healthy relationships, because when you're having sex with people, you're inviting their own demons, their demons inside of you. You're taking on their characteristics, whether you want to believe it or not. Some of y'all are behaving just like your exes and don't know why. Don't know why. But now you do. So yeah, man, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Possession is not what you see on TV. Possession it comes in the form of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, shame. Anything that is self-destructive is a possession, and you need to be delivered from that. And only you can deliver yourself from harming yourself. Only you can deliver yourself from being possessed. And you do that by going to therapy, by understanding, by being able to decipher what thoughts and experiences are my own, and what thoughts and experiences come from my parents and their dysfunction, and my grandparents and their dysfunction, or my uncles and their untold stories, or their unhealed traumas, because we are all carrying that inside of ourselves. All right, you guys, got to go. Hope you guys have a nice day. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. What did you think about the movie? Let me know in the comments below. Take care. What was back, Pack? Peace.